presentation was lovely. It was really amazing to see how, again, with the initiative of probably very few volunteers, such a project comes into being. We can see the difference, can't we, of some of the backgrounds of the actually very difficult lives, and the extent of joy and colour and new life and excitement, and of course education that these children and young people receive. Truly inspiring. We now have the honour and privilege of welcoming Mr. Surya Prasad Upadhyay. Mr. Upadhyay is an ex-Gurkha service soldier, and we're truly grateful to have him in our midst today. And Mr. Upadhyay is going to speak to us on the importance of education in Nepal. So please join me all in welcoming Mr. Upadhyay. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, who are all gathered here this afternoon, first of all, I would like to thank, obviously, Anna Ross Adams for introducing me to them. And also thank to the director of South London Women's Federation for World Peace, Mrs. Doris Reid, and Sweta Pradhan for, in fact, getting all of us here today. Doris Reid asked me to talk very briefly about the importance of education in Nepal. I'm not a scholar, nor I'm an expert in Nepal. I've spent 33 years of my life in the British Army, going around all over the world. So I will have no claims to know about education system in Nepal. Having said that, as a Nepalese, I thought that I should take a little bit of interest, and that is why I agreed to talk about the importance of education in Nepal. Because the theme itself is about Nepal, I just want to ask the audience here whether any one of you haven't ever been to Nepal. Well, you haven't been to Nepal, haven't heard about Nepal, don't know where Nepal is. Anyone here? No. Anyone? Anyway, I'm glad that at least you all know. Otherwise, I was about to say, oh, it's a beautiful country. I was about to become the ambassador for the tourist department and talk about Nepal, so that probably in your next holidays you will all book a trip to Nepal. I'm not going to say that. Okay? Before I start on the theme of today, which is obviously about Nepal and education, I would just like to remind the audience here about the 54 articles that the United Nations Convention on the Right of the Child. I'm not trying to test your education by defining what a child is. According to the United Nations, they say a child is defined as every human being below the age of 18. And one of the articles, there were 54 articles, and one of the articles says that every child has the right to be educated, including all girls and boys completing their primary education, primary school. And I'd like to add now on the United Nations, when they set the Millennium Development Goals, then I think they had 8 goals. Am I right in that, Ms. Reid?
Yes.
8. And I think the second one is what is going to center on my talk, which is to achieve universal primary education. And they actually had set a target as well to ensure that by 2015, children everywhere, boys and girls alike, will be able to complete a full course of primary school. Let me take you back to 1965, when I was a student in a primary school, just about to go to the secondary school in West Nepal, a place called Bairo. And we had a teacher from Calcutta, an English teacher from Calcutta, he didn't declare himself as a poet, but he did say that he loves poems. And I remembered him mentioning one of the poems by William Wordsworth. Okay, and the poem was the famous poem, The Rainbow. And he mentioned that, obviously from that poem, that the child is the father of a man. Now what this expression, according to him, was that all the positive and negative traits are established when we are young. Indeed, if you watch children at play, you will notice that they actually demonstrate certain characteristics which remain with them forever. In fact, I could boast myself, when I was very young, that I used to take a gang of young boys and just go to another village just to attack, well, not deliberately harm children, but to play an action about military advertising. And now when I look at in hindsight, look at it and say, oh, I've done 32 years in the army. I joined as a squaddy, as a private. I worked my way throughout for 32 years, and not only that, I even went and took my squadron to Sierra Leone twice to save the president of Sierra Leone. President Cabal. Therefore, when I looked at that point, when I looked at the teacher mentioning about it, I thought, yes, he was right, because it actually happened to me. I'm sure when you all can recall the days when you were a child, I'm sure if you compare it with what you are doing at the moment, there will definitely be similarities. Therefore, it is necessary to groom children to adopt healthy attitudes and positive traits, so that they grow up to be balanced individuals. That's what my the two speakers before me mentioned, that that's what this Sanhua International Academy and what the Women's Federation were doing in Nepal. This is where I believe that Sanhua International Academy comes into it, more about it later.